Hey guys, hey, it's Sienna, Magdalena. I am doing this new style reading where it's associated with sequences or numbers or angel numbers that you see. Because I was like, that'd be interesting. Like, I wonder what sort of messages I can get for, these numbers right now because of what's going on in the solstice, and there's like so much going on. So that's what I did. I channeled the 3 numbers that I felt called to do right now at this time. Of course, this is good for forever, but is 777, 888, and 999. So I pulled them all together the same way from each deck. I did each pile, I did one pile at a time basically. So, but I did like the same card from each deck, yada yada. And what I got was some really interesting stuff. What seems to be happening right now, if you are seeing these numbers or feeling called to watch this reading, or are vibing with 777, 888, or 999, is that a new self, that your spiritual self, specifically your sacred self, is awakening and becoming born, is kind of what I'm understanding. So this might already be, you might already be spiritual, like of course we are if we're watching this and stuff like that, but these cycles are continuous. And there's something serious coming down from the stars right now, from God, from divine energy, from spirit, source, universe, whatever you like to call it. And it's asking us to let it awaken within us so that we can let these gifts and this spirit come through us and let this fly. This is hugely relevant for me, but I know for a fact that I'm not the only one. So freedom, voice, a new voice, spiritually aligned self, anything more in alignment with our highest self right now. This is what these numbers are talking about, okay? And of course, with that sort of transformation or changing and realignment, it can be painful. It is the death energy, it is transformation, butterfly stuff, and it is asking us to just breathe, as you would if you were birthing a baby. Every time I go through a death birth experience, at some point I stop breathing and then I'm like, oh shit. So don't forget. And this is a really cool time. Stuff's coming around. This ascension is taking flight. No. I mean, yes, it is. Like, I feel like this is like Act 2 is like about to begin, kind of, but basically I'm feeling some sort of completion of a level, some sort of preparation or something that we've gone through collectively if you are on an ascension path or a spiritual path. So it's cool, and nobody knows what's coming next. That's what's even cooler. This is like so new for literally everyone, and even these ancient, or not ancient, but like whatever, spiritualists, boomers, and it doesn't matter if you're 80 or if you're 18. Nobody exactly knows, but we do have a feeling within, don't we? And we get closer and closer to that as we align with spirit, because that's at the end of the day what we are. We are spirit, we are God, we are love. And with that said, I'm gonna get into the first reading. And I couldn't believe, these are all the bottom cards of the decks from when I pulled, and I just couldn't believe, what came out really, how it was such a clear theme about this new, self being born, and it being of divine and sort of star, universal, heavenly energies. So this is really a blessed time. I wouldn't take this lightly. If you're seeing these numbers, you're on some shit right now. All right? Sending you lots of love. Let's get into it. Alright, guys. So, this is for if you want to do this reading pick-a-pile style with gemstones. And if not, then I'm going to tell you the numbers that are associated. This is 777, 888, and 999. Okay, I'm going to turn this pile over together since I don't really remember. I pulled these cards yesterday. Anyway, this is for pile 777. So, if that is you, if you have been seeing that number, or if you're feeling called to choose that number in this moment, then this message is for you. I'm Sienna. I'm a channel and clairvoyant and delivering messages. So I'm like a little bit tired today because I had some unexpected orders for this chocolate that I make. So that's, if I sound out of it, that's why. Okay, so this reading is really special. I've been seeing this number a lot myself. This is what inspired me to start doing these like number sequence synchronicity readings. And the energy that this is giving is very much like divine crown chakra God energy, just to put it blankly. It's very much like love and God energy, which is basically the same thing. And the message here in the first card is move beyond current challenges. Focus on what you desire. So I don't know, this could be for anybody really, but it is definitely calling to use your divine powers to transmute situations and with like as a co-creation with source and or spirit. It's a very, very powerful tool to know about and to be able to utilize as we walk through difficult situations in life. So this message is really giving like you are changing the circumstances basically, and you're pushing boundaries. We also have the box coming out, which is structure, order, limitations if it's too far. And, you know, I guess our comfort zone is somewhat related to the box as well, but it's still just like something that's been containing us, and it says we're moving beyond that. So like a present, like something greater than even you possibly is coming through you, and that's why these limitations are being stretched, is what I'm hearing. So that's cool. I mean, that's really fucking cool. We have like the light in the middle. I'm really drawn to that. So that for me would be like the spirit energy that's coming through right here. Say crown chakra. I know I am a part of source and my life is guided by divine wisdom. Okay, so you're working in co-creation. You are on a path right now. I love to see this by the book. So this is also order, which is super interesting. That's coming out with the box. This is rules, regulations. It kind of gives like Saturn energy to me a little bit, but it's also just saying like, you know, just do things the right way right now, you know, like, and you have the 10 of Pentacles and the King of Cups coming out. So this is like love and a long-term situation, whether you're creating that. Maybe this is a new business, maybe this is a relationship, and you're doing things differently. You know, you're really respecting them this time, and, you know, whatever by the book might mean to you. And there's like a family of elephants here, and 10 of Pentacles is like family, wealth, you know, like the whole thing. So it's definitely saying like, divine power is like coming through you to like break you out and like into this like super amazing, stable and like loving place. So that's really rad. So if you're seeing 777 and you've been going through things that have been challenging or turbulent, or have helped, maybe you've been questioning your path. This is a very hard path if you're walking a spiritual path. And once you arrive further and further onto it, your old life is further and further away, and that can be difficult to let go of and move beyond those limitations of whatever group or identity that you belong to before. So that's also coming through. And maybe you're just straightening out a little bit right now, working with God. So things are getting better, and trust, all we can do with heavy things that happen to us is transmute them. We have that power, and we use our mind to do that. Okay, and now as we move further into New Earth, we are dropping more into the heart. But at the end of the day, the way that you see something and think about it is going to lead you to hold certain beliefs and those systems about yourself, and then that then will create your reality. So that's an important thing to remember, and that's why we do meditate and try to pay attention to the mind. That's our ego. It's super important. Our ego is really important. A lot of people say that it's not, but it's like it tells us to eat and to sleep, and it protects us. And when it's out of control, it's like telling us that we can't do things that we can do, or that we can't break barriers that we can actually break. So this is a reminder so that you're doing that, and to keep going. And God is like a boundless, omnipresent. It's literally the lack of limitation. It's the opposite of that. So it's abundance and love and infinite possibility. So these energies together is super, super fascinating to see, and feels like a very balanced recipe for like long-term success and fulfillment is what I'm feeling. Okay, thank you. Gonna do 888 next. Bye. Hey you guys, Sienna here. This pile is gonna be for 888. If you've been seeing that number around, or you're feeling called to choose that number right now to receive the message behind it, then please stay tuned. This message is for you. Okay, so again with the God energy happening, Divine Healing is leading the reading. We have Thanatos, which is basically the death card. It's not the death card, it's death. And like grieving something. Nature spirits, I respect all of nature's elemental beings and help preserve life on Earth. Wow, that's so interesting to have death and life next to each other. These readings are blowing my mind. They're very like yin yang, like final, like form, like here we are ascended. It's really interesting. Okay, clean it up. Daughter of Wands and Father of Wands. Okay. All right, pile 888, triple infinity. So let's start there. We also have an 8 right here. Daughter of Wands is like a Page of Wands vibe. And the Father of Wands is the King of Wands. Okay, so different stages of the same line of energy. Family, especially. But anyway, all right, so death is, sort of an infinite thing of itself. So it seems like possibly you are healing from a loss or have experienced some sort of death or an ending. So this could be an ego death. It is giving ego death. And that's beautiful. So obviously our ego doesn't die, but that's sort of a term that gets thrown around. So I'm using it because people tend to know what it means. But it's when our limited idea, our mind of what we are and our identity gets essentially crushed and trampled by some sort of situation or sequence of events that shows us that we are more than that by bringing us to our knees and letting everything else fall away, essentially. And it's painful, just as going through any sort of death is. But we have the clean it up card right here. So it means, you know, really good work is happening. You know, you're tuning your divine instrument, you know, your God in form. And when people do this work, they learn what life is really about, you know? And it's amazing and it's worth it. So if you are going through this, perhaps you can get in nature. This is definitely calling. You know, we have this black and green theme. So it's like this darkness and then this beautiful like divine healing and nature. So it's balancing, you know, and it's calling you to get in touch with that and understanding that like everything is alive and that we need to respect everyone, including ourselves, starting with ourselves. We have the lotus flower right here, and that is calling me, it's calling my attention. So there's a message there, and the general message behind the lotus flower is that, you know, it grows through the mud and this like beautiful pink flower. So there's always the lotus within the death. That's a huge symbol for me, and it's really important to remember, you know, because sometimes it does feel like you're trudging through something sort of sticky and heavy. So yeah, just remember the lotuses, the gems, they're gonna pop up, and it's, you know, whether that's a healed heart chakra, you know, maybe, you know, you have been too afraid, your ego's been keeping you from loving, you know, really receiving and giving love that you're capable and that you are actually here to do. That's why we're here. People say we're here to learn, and that's not a no. There is sort of this cleanup work to do here, you know, this karmic cleanup, this cycles back and forth. This feels like a karmic death cycle to me. So just take care, get in some nature, you're healing. This is what healing looks like. There's nothing wrong with you. This is exactly what you're supposed to do. When the butterfly is in the cocoon, you know, it's a dark pile of liquid. It has to figure out how to get liquid out. Also, the archetypes of the reading of the 3 different numbers I'm doing are right here, and the death card is one of them. So this is transformation, you know, this is what we're doing right now. We're birthing new selves. We're birthing new selves. It came out. We're birthing the sacred self. We're returning to spirit. Spirit awakens. Look at this. Look at these cards that came out. Starborn. Starborn, okay? There is a birth happening here. There's a birth happening here. We're being called to breathe. Okay, as this cycle flushes out, you know, and we grow and mature and refine our ego and let it protect us when it needs to protect us, but not keep us from experiencing what we are here to experience, and also from treating people the way that they deserve to be treated, especially ourselves. Especially ourselves. I highly doubt there's anybody out there that's not treating other people right, that's treating themselves right, deeply and fully, you know? Maybe they're buying themselves a lot of Louis Vuittons or whatever, but, you know, we hurt others when we're in pain. So happy healing. There is light at the end of the tunnel, okay? There is light. You know how it is when you're cleaning house, you know, and when you're even cleaning your own house, it's messy and it gets dirty and it's annoying, you don't want to do it, but then afterwards you're like, this is so nice. And it's a similar process. So take care of your heart. Wear green right now, okay? That's the heart chakra color. Eat green vegetables, green juice, get in nature. That's how I healed from the really heavy stuff. Okay, love ya. Alrighty, pile 999. If you've been seeing these numbers, if you've been called to it, then this message is for you. I'm Sienna. I am a channel, mystic, clairvoyant. Then I always change like what I say because labels are so funny to me. But I am turning these over together since I pulled them yesterday and I don't really remember. Yes, Archangel Michael coming in hot. Wow, gnosis. Okay. It's like knowledge, deep inner knowing. Peace. Your own path. I follow my own unique path with courage and strength. Woo! This is the big leagues right here. The Sun and the Six of Wands. Okay. All three of these readings have blown my mind in their own way. I'm really loving it. There's so much God energy in all of them, and obviously this is why I'm here. So it makes me feel good when I'm feeling called particularly to do these three specific sequences, and then I pull readings for each of them together, and it's, you know, just like infused with like spirit energy. So, and these are messages from Spirit. These numbers are just messages from Spirit. So it's a confirmation. Trusting heaven. You are safe. Angels stand close. Surrender your concerns and allow a miracle to occur. All of these messages sort of have this like, you're going to a good place vibe. And whether it's transmutation, which was the first reading, 777, and then like the death energy, the ego death energy of the 888 reading, and here in the 999 reading, it's like you've come this far. I know it feels like insane, but like just trust that the miracle, like you've made it. Actually, you're in miracle land. Miracles are always possible, but it's ultimate surrender and trust in Spirit. Okay, there's nothing more. Just like the trust it takes to know, you know, not something that you've learned in a book, but something that you feel and that you've experienced, even if it can't be proven. It's a knowing, and it takes trust. It takes trust to like surrender to any spiritual gifts we have, even intuition, you know. So this is asking you to trust, and perhaps it's asking you to trust because you're on a path that not many others are ahead of you on. And you're leading, you know, you're pioneering, you're weed whacking, you're carving the path, and it's different from the mass. So I follow my own unique path with courage and strength, you know. It's all of these two have like sort of this like dark enchanted vibe with like the light in it, like the box, and I don't know, all of these cards. These forests with the light, you know, we don't know what's happening. This is such an interesting time, and this ascension is culminating. We're coming to the close of like Act 1, it feels like. Okay, and that was the biggest stir, the biggest beginning of this raw dogging transformation. Everybody, like if you've done that, then you went first, kind of. You know, and it's happening faster more now, and people are getting it. But before that, you know, you probably stopped talking to all the same people you did for a while, and you know, went on your own path. That's what happens when we follow a spiritual path. God is not the most sellable thing. It's really not. I'm gonna leave it there. This is the path of God and peace and knowing and being like a master and like really, you know, accepting and contemplating the mystery of life and of the divine and how this all works out. A miracle is an unanswerable question. And the gnosis is saying you trust that you know that it's possible. So that's such an interesting conversation, just those two cards alone. I'm really identifying with this one as well, so I'm probably heading towards this. I don't know if I'm quite in the big leagues yet, but miracles are around me, and I'm definitely looking for peace, and the sun has come out in my life. So yeah, I guess like I do identify with this. I just feel like holiday crazy today. I don't know what else to say. Like, this is like a bunch of doves like coming out of a cloud and like being just a master, transcending everything you thought that you wanted, all of your dreams. Maybe you saw truth about them, and maybe it had to lead you down another path of what you thought you wanted, and you're making peace with that. And all of a sudden, because of that peace and because of that surrender, this is coming through really strong now. Because of that, it like the crystalline activation within you is really blossoming now. It's like sunny, beautiful clouds. Like, you made it. It's victory. It's like you did that. I 100% can guarantee that you crawled on the underworld on your hands and knees to get to this point. I know I did. And no one is going to be here without that work. And the reading before, I don't know if I told them this, so I guess they're probably not ready for it because their ego is just starting to break. So there's probably a reason why I didn't say it, but it's a call. That Thanatos card is like a calling to the underworld, okay? And that's where so much magic happens and so much good work happens. This is an energy of being beyond that, you know? And we do go in cycles, so it's not like your one is above, but like, you know, at this point in the cycle, you've done that. You've commenced with the ravens, you know what I mean? And those messages, and that your soul has changed, and that light within you has been ignited in a way that it can't be put out anymore. That came through really strong right now. That now this light is lit. It's lit. Okay, this shit is lit. I should write that down. So trust, even if it seems dark still, like you have no idea. Like, you're about to like turn the corner from like a dark, like, or shadowier, shady trees, and it's gonna be pastures and beautiful blue skies and clouds and just that, you know, definitely butterflies and those little cabbage white butterflies, like just like all around, just like just whatever, stars and flowers of the sky. All right, good work. Whoever is identifying with this, you're a spiritual warrior MFer, okay? So 29, 23, 21, yeah, big leagues. All right, thank you.